Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to Post Cologne. Today I'm going to be unboxing 3 fragrances from the Dumont Paris line, their Nitro series. So let's jump into it. All right, we are back with another unboxing first impressions video of 3 fragrances from the Dumont Nitro series. The hype machine of the Dumont Nitro series. I've been getting tons of requests from you guys to check these out. Hearing a lot about it online as well. So today is the day I'm gonna check out these Dumont Nitros. The folks over at Perfume Box were kind enough to send these my way. They sent them free of charge, but no money is exchanged hands here. This is not a paid review of any sort. They were just kind enough to send me some free fragrances and give me a coupon code so you guys can save 5% at Perfume Box if you choose to shop with them using the code POST5. So there you go. Save yourself a few bucks if you want to get any of these fragrances. So pretty excited about this. Like I said, been hearing a lot about the Dumont Nitro series, so let's quit screwing around. Let's get into it. All right, kicking things off from Dumont Nitro, we're going with Dumont Nitro Pour Homme Green. Now you can scoop this up for $35 at Perfume Box, and I'm gonna have links all down in the description. If I didn't say that earlier, they're all gonna be down there if you wanna check this out. Let's just jump into it. Let's just figure out what this is all about. All right, there we have the box presentation for Dumont Nitro Green. Typical cardboard box, nothing special. Let's see what the bottle looks like. All right, there we have the bottle presentation for Dumont Nitro Green. I'm not sure what this is all about. This feels like it might be broken. I don't know. I don't think that's supposed to dangle. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see what the other bottles look like. But nice looking bottle, nice heavy glass, has this kind of leathery kind of wrap around it. Name of the fragrance right there. Overall, pretty straightforward bottle, and cap, nice thick heavy metal on this. So that is a nice cap on that for sure. And the atomizer on this, ooh, very nice atomizer. Good distribution, good long sprays. Definitely get the job done. But what does this smell like? So right out the gates, just smelling this in the air, immediately what you get is that Jean Paul Gaultier Ultra Male, often on 9 p.m. sort of vibe going on to it. Not as fruity sweet, but like undeniable. That's what they're going for this, for sure. Lavender, there is that sweetness. Like I said, not a, kind of the same fruity sweetness, but same level of sweetness that's going on to it. A little bit of vanilla in the air as well. Very nice. Let's get this on paper and dive in. So right off the rip, just smelling this off paper, a little bit different than it was in the air, but very, very similar at the same point. The sweetness is coming from like a fir resin, so it's got more kind of like a fresh green style of sweetness, if that makes any sort of sense. It's not like your sugary apple or even kind of like a fruity pear like you get with those other 2 fragrances mentioned. It's a different kind of like green sweet that's going on to this, and it is quite nice. It's very smooth. It's got a little bit more earthy tones going on, but there is this nice kind of aromatic lavender that's working its way in there. There might even be some sweetness coming from that lavender as well. Their vanilla's there as well, adding to that, but it's like the sweetness in here it's the same, but it's different. I don't know if that makes any sort of sense, but it's very nice. The texture on this is really nice. It has a real nice smoothness that's going on, but at the same point, it has this nice powdery texture that's going through it. So it has this like dry, ambery, like powdery floral style of touch that is mixing with those sweet accords, some of those aromatics and those earthy tones. There's a lot of woods that are listed in here. It's not like a very woody fragrance at this point. You are getting more of those sweet tones and more of those textures than you are anything, but overall, very nice fragrance. And I'm really digging how smooth and like that little touch of powderiness that's going on to this. It just has like a high kind of quality sort of feel going on to it, and the notes are all working together really, really well. I'd even say this is like more masculine than the Ultra Male and the 9 p.m. just because it has the kind of more of that green earthy tones that are going on to it. I wouldn't say it's not like a dirty earthy tone or anything like that. It is kind of a fresh green tone, but it just has this like clean masculine sort of feel, but still maintains that kind of the basic DNA of those other 2 fragrances, if that makes any sort of sense. I'm enjoying this one quite a bit, but let's skip to the dry down, see how it unfolds, and we'll go from there. All right, back with the dry down of Dumont Nitro Green. Been about an hour, let this settle down, do its own thing. This changed in the dry down a little bit, and it kind of moved away from the 9 p.m. Ultra Male territory. It still has that backbone DNA, like they're definitely in the same genre, same neighborhood, But this took an interesting twist to it, and it has more of that fresh green came out, and this nice cedar that's in the base, mixing with this violet leaf, that powdery kind of floral aspect to it that gives it a bit of sweetness. The fir resin sweetness is still there as well, but I'm liking the little bit of fresh green touches that are in this one compared to those other ones. This isn't, 9 p.m. isn't overly sweet necessarily, but it's a much fruity, sweet, vanilla style of fragrance. Whereas this one has a different style of sweetness to it with those greens in it that just makes it a little bit different. Because when I first, in the opening, I was just like, oh, okay, we're gonna have like a competitor for 9 p.m., Lattafa Rams, somewhere in that neighborhood. But this one takes it in a bit of a different direction, and I am quite intrigued by that, and I do like that. Pushing off the paper fairly good. This isn't filling the room necessarily, but this is performing fairly well off the test strip. So I'm curious to see what this does off my skin. So I am pleasantly surprised by this one, and for 35 bucks pending performance, I think I'm gonna enjoy this one. That's Dumont Nitro Green. All right, next up, we're going with Dumont Nitro Black. Now you can also pick this up for $35, and don't know anything about this one. Let's jump in. All right, there we have the box presentation for Dumont Nitro Black. Same as the other box, plain cardboard box. Let's take a look at the bottle. All right, there we have the bottle presentation for Dumont Nitro Black. Same as the green one. I guess this isn't broken. This is just a little doodad tassel that they kept on it, but overall, decent looking bottle. Nice heavy metal cap on it, and I'm assuming the atomizer is gonna be the same. Which it is. Good atomizer will definitely get the job done. But what does this smell like? So right off the rip, just smelling this in the air, this is a punch in the face, pineapple, citrus, pepper style of fragrance, and very much kind of a Creed Inventus style of DNA to this. But man, oh man, that is a peppery pineapple that's going on in the air right now, and I'm digging it. A little bit of smokiness too. I am picking up like some birchy smokiness at the same points, but really it's like a lot of pepper and a lot of pineapple. I'm excited. Let's jump in. Yeah, so right off the rip, just smelling this off paper, this is almost hard to hold to my nose right now. This is such a nose tickle black pepper that's going on with this. The bergamot is coming forward more so than it was in the air, so it has that really tart citrus moving in with that pineapple. It's not an overly sweet pineapple at this moment because the pepper is just really overtaking it. And like I said, there is some of that smoky birch that's coming through, so it gives it that woody smokiness with that black pepper, some of those citruses coming through. So it's definitely going after that Creed Inventus style of DNA, and I'm digging this. This is, again, people get bored of the Creed Inventus, fragrances that come out, all the various clones, but this is a good one. I'm liking it. As is opening up a little bit more, there is this black currant style of sweetness that's starting just to kind of poke forward a little bit. The pineapple's coming forward a little bit more, intermingling with that bergamot. So it's still got that citrus aspect to it, but the more that sweet pineapple's coming forward. The black pepper is taking it down a notch, so it's not as crazy as it was in the opening, but it's definitely still there and definitely one of the main players in this, and that smoky birch is still maintaining it. So it's just a little bit more sweetness coming through, the pepper starting to kind of share the stage a little bit more, if you will. Now, after a minute or two here, there is a little bit of amberiness that's starting to come up from the base, and it's mixing in with that pineapple. It sort of reminds me of the Lattafa Cayetels Frisson style of pineapple, just kind of that, almost that warm, sweet, citrusy style of pineapple. But again, pepper, birch, a little bit of black currant coming through with this as well. Very much a Creed Inventus style of clone, but the pineapple, it kind of reminded me of that Lattafa. But I'm digging this one so far. This is really quite nice. Let's skip to the dry down, see how this unfolds, and we'll go from there. All right, back to the dry down of Dumont Nitro Black. Been an hour, let this settle down, do its thing. Didn't change a whole lot. The citrusy pineapple aspect did die down a little bit, so you're not picking up as much with that sweet, citrusy pineapple. That bergamot more or less gone, and what you're really left with is still that pepperiness, that smoky birch that's coming through. I do pick up a little bit of that black currant sweetness still coming through. That's just kind of balancing off against that smoky birch and that pepper, just to keep it from being like a very, very aggressive kind of dry down. And there's a little bit of an ambery texture, a little bit of muskiness that's in the base, but through and through, this is just kind of a peppery, dry birch with like a bit of smokiness, but it's more of a peppery spiciness than it is a smokiness. And I am digging this. This really does have a similar dry down to the Club de Nuit Intense Man. And just off the top of my head right now, I'd have to really get them side by side to say for sure. But that's what came to mind when I was smelling the dry down on this one. So overall, for an Aventus clone, this is pretty good. So I'll have to get this on skin, test it out, see how it performs, see how it does with my skin chemistry. But nothing new under the sun, if you ask me. It's a Creed Aventus clone. I think it's a good one. I really like the birch that comes through and the pepperiness, but through and through, that's what it is, and it's just my honest opinion of it. That's Dumont Nitro Black. All right, last, but hopefully not least, we're going with the king of the hype machines when it comes to this series, and one of the fragrances that's been most requested for me to check out, and that's Dumont Nitro Red. Now, this one's a few bucks more at Perfume Box. It's $38 compared to $35, but it must be in high demand because I just keep hearing about this one. So let's find out if the hype is really hype worthy. All right, box presentation, same as the other ones, just red. Let's take a look at the bottle. All right, and the bottle presentation, same as the other ones as well. Not much else to say. Same kind of cap on this, and I'm assuming the atomizer is going to be the same. And it is, we'll definitely get the job done. But what does this smell like? Holy smokes, just right off the rip, smelling this in the air, you weren't lying. It's very much kind of like a Jolly Rancher candied watermelon is the first thing I'm picking up. A little bit of like apple sweetness that's going on, maybe some hints of some aromatics, but really it's a watermelon bomb at this moment. So let's get this on paper and dive in a little bit more. Yeah, so right off the rip, just smelling this off paper, it definitely has that candied watermelon, that almost, like I said, the Jolly Rancher candy style of watermelon, but there is a little bit more apple that's sharing this than it was initially in the air. I am picking up on the apple fruity sweetness. It does have kind of a nice lightness to it, if you will, like the lavender aromatics in here just kind of giving this almost kind of like a watery, like light and airy style of feel with those fruity accords that are coming through. To be quite honest, I thought this was going to be like hurt your teeth sugary style of sweetness just based off how I heard other people describe this one, but this is more kind of like a watery watermelon. It has that sweetness that's going on to it, so it's not as like cloying as I thought it was going to be. It's definitely got that Invictus style of DNA, like a little bit of the Hawass thing going on to it, but so far it's pretty nice. As it's opening up a little bit more, you're still, the watermelon I have a feeling is going to be riding right through to the end on this one, but it's taking on almost kind of an aquatic style of feel to it. There's like a little touch of some like watery greenness that's mixing in with those fruity sweet accords right now, and just making this like very much like that Invictus Aqua style of DNA. Has that Invictus sweetness, Hawass, again, like I was saying before, very, very similar style of fragrance to this. Very, very youthful, very playful style of scent DNA going on to this, and not bad. Yeah, and after about a minute or two here, there's a little bit of amberiness that's starting to come up from the base, but through and through, this is a very much like a candied watermelon, apple, almost kind of like watery aquatic mix of scent accords that are going on to it. It's pleasant. It's kind of a, compliment beast, easy to reach for style of fragrance, but let's skip to the dry down, see how this unfolds, and we'll go from there. All right, back with the dry down of Dumont Nitro Red. It's been about an hour, let it settle down, do its own thing. It actually didn't really settle down. I see what everyone was saying in terms of performance. This is room filling at this point. Like I could smell this outside of this room, like no problem. It's the first thing I smelled of all the fragrances. This was standing out loud and proud. This is definitely a performer. I will say in the opening of this one, I was a little bit meh. It was like, okay, this is Invictus with watermelon, and I think me at least, I'm kind of bored of the Invictus clones. Now that it's in the dry down, I may have changed my mind a little bit. This is really nice in the dry down. The smoothness has come out with this sandalwood, with that watermelon, that little bit of that apple fruit sweetness that's still sitting there. This isn't overly sweet. I thought that's where it was going in that opening. It is pretty sweet. It had a little bit of kind of a synthetic vibe going on to us, but this really dried down pretty nice. And so like my initial skepticism has been overturned, to be quite honest. This is a very nice fragrance in this dry down. Very youthful, very playful. This is definitely for those guys going for that kind of the younger crowd, but you can be whatever age you want to wear this fragrance, but definitely has that youthful, playful, flirty sort of vibe going on to it. So I'm not sure when I would wear this necessarily all the time, but for the people that are into that style of fragrance, I can see why you would enjoy this one. And like I said, the performance is monstrous. Just don't be a jerk and just like put on 16 sprays of this, because like you're gonna give someone a headache, because this definitely is very strong. And I have to say, despite my skepticism, I am pleasantly surprised. So there you have it. That's Dumont Nitro Red. All right, so there you have it. That's 3 Dumont fragrances from their Nitro series. And I want to hear from you guys. I have the rest of the line lined up for an unboxing. Which ones do you want to see me unbox next? Comment down below. I love hearing from you guys. I love getting your different recommendations, your hidden gems, different taste and scent profiles. Appreciate you. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.